Gia Patel was excited as she tied her apron for another evening shift at Golden Spoon, one of Manhattan's most renowned restaurants. At 24, she had worked tirelessly to move up from small diners to this five-star venue, known for hosting the city's most influential figures. "Gia, you're on table 8 tonight," Emma, the head waitress, said with a knowing smile. "VIP guest. Treat them like royalty." Gia nodded confidently and walked toward the table. But when she saw who was sitting there, she froze. It was Donald Trump, surrounded by several business associates. Gia's stomach churned. For months, she had passionately voiced her opinions about his policies on social media, criticizing many of his decisions. Now here he was, her guest for the evening. She took a deep breath and approached the table, but her emotions got the better of her. Instead of her usual warm greeting, her tone was cold and distant. She avoided eye contact and rushed through the introductions. When she poured water, her movements were brisk, almost careless. One of Trump's associates glanced at her curiously. "Is everything okay, miss?" the associate asked. "Fine," Gia replied stiffly. Throughout the evening, her actions reflected her unease. She delayed taking their orders, brought the wrong appetizer twice, and even muttered under her breath loud enough for the table to hear. Other guests began to notice the tension at table 8, and the restaurant's usually elegant atmosphere felt strained. The next morning, Gia arrived at work feeling uneasy. She couldn't shake the memory of how she had acted the night before. As she entered the staff room, she found Mr. Carter, the manager, waiting for her with a stern expression. "Gia, we need to talk," he said, motioning for her to sit down. "What's wrong?" Gia asked hesitantly, though she already had an idea. Mr. Carter placed a comment card on the table. "This is from the guest at table 8 last night." Gia's heart sank as she read the card. It detailed her cold attitude, mistakes with the orders, and the uncomfortable atmosphere she had created. "I'm sorry," Gia began, but Mr. Carter cut her off. "Gia, do you realize who you were serving last night?" he asked. She looked down, ashamed. "That guest wasn't just a VIP," Mr. Carter continued. "Donald Trump owns Golden Spoon. He's been the owner for over a decade. You didn't just serve a guest poorly. You disrespected the owner of this restaurant." Gia felt a wave of panic. She had never thought to check who owned the restaurant, and now, her actions had jeopardized everything she had worked so hard to achieve. "I didn't know," she whispered. "That's no excuse," Mr. Carter said firmly. "We're in the hospitality business. It's our job to treat every guest with respect, no matter what we think of them personally. You let your emotions get in the way of your professionalism." Emma, standing nearby, added softly, "Gia, you're one of our best servers, but last night that wasn't you. This isn't just about one mistake. It's about what we represent as a team." Gia felt tears prick her eyes. She had let her emotions cloud her judgment and had tarnished the reputation she had worked so hard to build. Mr. Carter handed her a letter. "This came for you this morning. It's from Mr. Trump himself." With trembling hands, Gia opened the letter. "Dear Miss Patel, I was disappointed by the service I received last night, not because of your personal opinions, but because you allowed them to interfere with your professionalism. Golden Spoon has always been a place of excellence, and your past record reflects that. Everyone makes mistakes, but what matters is how we learn from them. The suspension stands, but your job will be waiting for you if you choose to return with a renewed commitment to treating every guest with the respect they deserve. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump." The letter hit Gia harder than any punishment could have. She had been given a second chance, but she knew it came with an important lesson. During her 2-week suspension, Gia reflected deeply on her actions. She realized that professionalism meant rising above personal opinions and treating everyone with respect. She thought about how much she loved her job, how proud she had been to work at Golden Spoon, and how close she had come to losing it all. When she returned, Gia apologized to her colleagues and focused on rebuilding her reputation. She treated every guest with care, no matter who they were. Her efforts didn't go unnoticed, and a few months later, She was promoted to head waitress for the lunch service. Jia used her experience to mentor new staff, often reminding them, "It doesn't matter who's sitting at the table. Our job is to serve with excellence and respect." Through her mistake, Jia had learned a valuable lesson. True professionalism isn't about agreeing with every guest, it's about doing your best for every guest. Her story became a powerful reminder that in the world of fine dining, respect and hard work are what truly matter. And so, Golden Spoon continued to thrive as one of Manhattan's finest restaurants, where every guest was treated like royalty. Because that's what professionalism is all about.